going on, beautiful people? Welcome back to my channel. I'm not gonna hold you up. You saw the title of this video. Let's get into it. Today we are talking about what true apology look like. And sometimes we find ourselves in a situation where we felt pressured to forgive someone's misbehavior. I've come to a place through therapy, through training as a psychotherapist, through doing the work, I've come to a place where I'm very, very aware. I'm aware of my traumas. I'm aware of my madness. I'm aware of my ghetto. I'm aware of my bad behaviors. But I'm also aware of when I put a line here, I choose to cross it, and I say, hey, I clearly told you several times, don't cross this line. And you keep crossing it. I'm well aware that that's healthy behavior. We find ourselves in a situation where we are being made to feel guilty or mad for standing on business. And so for those who are in a position where this person crossed my boundaries several times and I stood on it, and now they're making me feel guilty of it, this video is going to clarify how you're feeling and firstly validate you, which I do, and make you really look at your situation heads on, sit with it, and see if you're making the right decision. Let's look at what apology is. What is an apology? And I'm gonna put a video in here, and I feel like this man, he went in such a short period of time on what apology is.
An apology is not necessarily accountability, and many times we accept someone's apology because we want reconciliation in the relationship so badly, or we want the relationship to match an image in our mind, and we can accept apologies without demanding accountability. But accepting an apology too quickly doesn't always mean that the other person is accountable, and not accepting an apology quickly doesn't mean that you're immature or holding on to an offense. An apology must be coupled with accountability, and accountability is the action of the words, I apologize. I want to see your apology carried out by the way that you walk and the way that you live. So I hear your apology, but I pay attention to your walk after the apology. Because I'm sorry can't heal my heart. I'm sorry can't heal the wound. I'm sorry can't heal the offense. But your changed behavior can begin the process. So if you don't have changed behavior, you can keep the apology.
Bye. You can keep that. You can keep that. I think he's being very political, but hey, we go with that. Keep that damn apology. Okay. I can really hear him in this video when he says sometimes we want things to be in a way that we perceived it, imagined it, and so we accept people's apology. Now, if I can relate with you, you relate with me, sometimes we do that for too long, where we're accepting someone's apology over and over and over again. But guess what? We are not seeing the change in their behavior. So they'll apologize for one thing and they will end up doing that thing again. They'll apologize for it and end up doing it again. And the point is why are you apologizing if you have no intentions to change the behavior? You have no intentions to correct your ill-doing. And this is where self come in, where sometimes we take too long for this process, where we gotta really step back and we gotta really separate what we want and what is actually happening. Like, yeah, I want a relationship where we're kind to each other, where we can, resolve conflict in a loving and calm way, where we can be in a safe place where our needs can be vocalized and worked on being met if possible, right? by ourselves and by one another. And then I have to that's what I want. Then I gotta look at my relationships and be like, okay, is this happening in my relationships? And if it's not, what steps do I need to take? Do I need to discuss this? Are we both willing to work together, get the therapy, make the change? Or is one stuck and refuses? And if they are, what am I to do? What are you to do? Right? And sometimes we stay in these things, hoping it will change. And by the time you look at decades of our lives has passed, nothing's changed. Matter of fact, it's gotten worse. And this is why it's important for couples to grow together. Grow together. If you see your man doing courses, getting personal trainers, mentors, and you there chilling, watching drama, talking on your phone with your girlfriend, and you ain't elevating you and he elevating his money, don't be mad when you guys are no longer on the same page. If you see your woman doing the courses, buying her things off of, from manufacturing, products off of manufacturers, getting her business up, and you there chilling with your boys, going to work 9 to 5, come back home sleeping, chilling, not working on you after your job. And you see her boss up, and then you mad when she look at you different because you didn't see that she was growing, she was glowing up. You can't be mad. This is where we gotta look at ourselves. I've been looking at myself since last year, and I am amazed by the unturns, tones, the traumas that I've been finding in me that I didn't even know was there. I thought I was good. I was functionally depressed, functionally anxious, functionally struggling with post-traumatic stress disorder, just functionally living. Not knowing what my body is saying to me. Not knowing why I'm wilding out. And some of us, we are still in that state because we have not come to the truth of who we are and what we're doing and how we're living. I remember one of my mentors said to me, look at your parents and look at your grandparents if you have them around, if you know them. Look at their struggles. Look at your older siblings, your aunties. Look at their struggles. What areas are they struggling in? And she said, if you do not change your life, what you're looking at is who and what you'll become. Now sit with that for a minute. Sit with that for a minute. Because a lot of us were coming from childhood, mess up, traumatic experience, whether that is having teenage pregnancies, abusive relationships, poverty, welfare, alcoholism, drug addictions, sex workers, workaholics, poor relationship choices and outcomes. First heard this, I'm like, me and my family were finished. We're done. We're done. Because we're going through life in our 30s, in our late 20s, and we have no clue that how we are raised have a great effect on how our future will be if we don't become educated, if we don't put in the intentional works of making the changes so that we can do better. And we can also let our children know the mistakes we made and how they can take the steps on not doing the same bullshit that we've done. For example, I'm on my daughter about teen pregnancy. I'm on my daughter about getting her education. I'm on my daughter about being financially stable in our own self, in our own life. I'm on my daughter about reading on self-love, being aware of her emotions and how her body speaks to her. And I pass this down to my boys, right? Because all the mess you can think of, I've done it. All the mess you can think of, my mother's done it. Never met my dad till I was in my early 20s, 24, 25. Have nothing there. And so it is so important that we realize that a lot of the things that we've experienced as children, as adolescents, forms and shape our choices in life, whether it's romantic, whether it's marriage, whether it's finances, whatever it is, how we express our anger. I realized because I was beaten as a child and I was shouted at as a child, when I am angry, that's what I go to, beat or shout. Didn't know as a 30 odd year, as a woman in her 30s, didn't know how to regulate my emotions. Didn't know that if I'm feeling tension, something's being triggered or my body's speaking to me. Didn't know how to release and instead of reacting to respond. Didn't understand that the environment that I'm going to choose is going to mirror the environment that I grew up in. So now I can understand why I chose the partners that I chose. And for me to change my decisions and my choices, I have to work on me, and I'm doing it now. And I'm sharing this in hopes that a lot of you will hear this and start working on you so that you can make better choices. Better choices. I'm hoping this change in me will help me change towards my children and will help my children choose better futures. Better futures. This is so deep. I'm doing a video on teen pregnancies. Why I'm against teen pregnancy. I was a teen mom. So I'm not coming from a place of hate. I'm coming from a place like I did this and I realized it wasn't good for me. It's not good for my kids, right? And also being intentional of choosing who you reproduce with. We're not taught this. We're not taught this at all. And I have 5 kids, right? I had 3 out of wedlock, 3 different baby daddies. And I got married at 24 and my 2 children's from my marriage, right? There's a big difference, big difference. I didn't have it together, still don't have it together, but I can realize there's a big difference, okay? There's a big difference. I know better now, and if I could, I would do everything different. I'll do everything different, but I can't. So all I can do is learn from it, release it, and fix up now so that my children will do better than me. They will exceed me in my choices, in my decisions, okay? And I hope that you are at the stage where you're like, yeah, I want that for myself, I want that for my children. I want to first say, for you to truly change, you have to be very honest. You gotta be so honest with where you're at. So honest with where you're at. And being honest with where you are, and so it can be so defeating, sad. It hurts to come to a realization that you've been living life blindly. But also you gotta look at it like this. Your eyes are open to it. And because your eyes are now open, you can do the work. You can be intentional. And I know a lot of you guys don't know what doing the work is. Let's start with therapy. Let's start with therapy. Being a psychotherapist in training and also getting therapy weekly since November last year till now, I have did a whole U-turn because of therapy. Because of therapy. Is this apology genuine? Or is this apology a manipulation for me to go back into whatever it is to only get harmed again? And the more you become aware of what you are doing or they are doing, is the more you become aware of how you can choose your next step. The apology, that's the event, yeah? The event, two different people, A and B. We can say man or woman, depending on who's watching and what your partner is, supposedly. They go out with a work colleague for dinner, intentionally did not tell you. One intention is to go out and enjoy themselves without you knowing, right? That means there's not a safe communication there. I'm just teaching you things that I've learned. He's unable to say it to his partner because he does not feel safe to tell her, hey, I want to go out and enjoy myself with a work colleague. Maybe because he knows it's not going to be allowed in that relationship and he want his cake and he want to eat it too. She want to eat it too. And the other one on the side, he want to go out and he want to intentionally hurt this person. Okay? Now we're going to look at the apology. We're going to look at the apology because that's what we're focusing on. What is a genuine apology? What I am learning and what I have learned through therapy, through working on myself, intentionally working on myself, and having great people around me to share my experience. They've explained to me what a true apology is. A true apology is where accountability comes in. This person takes accountability for what they've done. Not only are they accountable, they now take on the responsibility of making it right or attempting to make it right? And then they apologize. After the apology, there is consistent attempts in changing. That means that behavior that they have apologized for is they're working on changing the behavior. They're working on making that behavior different, which means their partner will not have to worry about them harming them in that way or similar again, because their apology was sincere. Now, you think the apology is done, but I've learned it just got started. The person who's apologizing have to give the person that they are apologizing space and grace to do whatever they want with that apology. Whether I want to keep you in my life, whether I want to demote you out my life, whether I want to have nothing to do with you at all. You have to give that person grace to do with that apology whatever they want to do with it. With no malice, no anger, no frustration. Feelings is valid. It's valid. So I come to this to say, just because someone apologized to you does not mean that they are going to stay in the position that they were in before the conflict, before the disagreement, before the betrayal. So yes, you apologize to your husband. Yes, you apologize to your wife. But the offense was so great, so deep, so often that you've been demoted. So there comes a divorce. There comes a separation. There comes, if it's in the workplace, there comes a warning. There comes a demotion. There comes getting fired. If it's like me, a friendship. I lost a friend, and a very good friend, by the way. Okay, and I'm well aware that every behavior comes with consequences, whether it's meant to or not. I always say this: just because I drank a cup of tea with poison in it accidentally does not mean that the poison's not gonna do what the poison's supposed to do, just because it was an accident. And so a lot of us, we are in situation where someone keeps apologizing, but there's no change of behavior, no intentions to change. There's no accountability, there's no responsibility. Then what is that? That is manipulation, that is gaslighting, and that is someone not understanding or not wanting to own that there's consequences to their behavior. There will be clear communication of what they did and why they did it. Some people want to offend you. They want to beat around the block. They want to blame you. They don't even want to sit with what they've done. But then they still want to be in your face and in your space. And so it makes me question, what if it was the offender who got offended? How would they handle it? How would they deal with it? What would they do? And based on my experience, the offenders be the most self-loved people. They're the most people with boundaries and that stands on boundaries when it comes to them. But when it comes to others, some of these, they have no respect and no awareness and no consideration on how their behavior is affecting those around them. And so I'm gonna end this video by saying, if someone is continuously apologizing to you but making no change, that they are manipulating you, they're lying to you, and they're stealing from you. Because heartache, and soul break is not an easy trauma to mend and to come out of. It is painful. It is very painful. And if the person hurting you cannot relate or sit or understand your pain, it is sad to even think that maybe that person is genuinely not for you. They're not. I hope this video helps someone to make a clear decision. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it helped you. Don't forget to subscribe. I do one-on-one talking therapy with my own practice. You can click the link or email below for your one-on-one session with me.